It's as true now as it was 10 years ago or 100 years ago. As soon as you set foot on this island, you're our patient. Whether you know it or not, we know it.
Hi, I'm David Gregory. If you want to understand the importance of Nantucket Cottage Hospital, just try to imagine life on the island without it. I simply can't. In fact, as the father of 3 young children, life on the island for me would not be possible without the sense of security that a first-class community hospital brings. This is our hospital.
The difference between a small hospital for its community and any other hospital in its community is that it's important for every member of the community to know that this hospital is their hospital.
I think you're going to be fine.
These doctors, these nurses, these technicians are their doctors and nurses and technicians. They make it work.
This was Chef Al Kovalenchik's hospital when he broke his collarbone in a bicycle accident just a couple of weeks before he opened his restaurant for the start of the season.
I was on Nantucket Road, and I was most of the way out to Nantucket. I just hit a patch of sand, flipped over the handlebars.
Really had an awful fracture of his clavicle, and if he had been treated sort of in the traditional way, it would take him anywhere from a short and 12 weeks before he'd be back able to do what he was doing before.
It was the beginning of the year, and it was, we were just getting up and running. We were going 7 days a week. There wasn't any more downtime.
We offered him the ability to have it fixed, and that would cut his recovery time by 60 to 70%, perhaps even more depending on how he did. Now, that's a treatment that you could have in New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Tokyo, LA, and now you can have it here on Nantucket. And that has additional benefits for the patient to be able to stay here.
Just having everything right there. I mean, just being able to go to see Dr. Monteau for follow-ups, go into the physical therapy department, within 5 minutes from where my house is, absolutely. And it's like that at any place on the island. I mean, it's there for all of us.
This was island lawyer Emily Stover's hospital when she found out she had an aggressive form of breast cancer.
Before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was really healthy, and I don't think I ever even had a reason to go into the Nantucket Cottage Hospital. I knew it was there, and I'd driven by the hospital many times, but never thought about it. When the moment came when I realized that I was not going to be able to treat cancer like something else on my to-do list, and that I would be in cancer treatment for the rest of my life, and also that I would have to face the reality that my life would be shorter than I expected. The first person I spoke to about that was Charlene, and it meant a lot to me. It was a chemo in January, and I was sitting there, and I think I just said, Charlene, how many of your patients die of cancer? And because you had seen so many people, you knew instantly the things that must be going through my head at that time. I feel like my cancer treatment interferes with the rest of my life as little as possible. And I think that's really the point of cancer treatment, is to have the rest of your life as much as you can. I can't even remember a time when I didn't feel that sense of having a relationship with the people at the hospital and with Charlene. And I think that's in large part because everyone who comes to this hospital has a connection to the island already. So we're already connected to each other in that way. Hey, Sally.
Good morning, Emily.
Practicing medicine on an island is a little different, as I've discovered over these last 12 years. You have to have your clinical sea legs under you. And then you have to have a weather eye out. And you have to know exactly what we can do here and what we should do here and be very good at that. And you have to be very clear at what we shouldn't be doing here and make the relationships off island so that patients get the care they need.
The weather is a significant factor. If the weather is beautiful, life is good. If the weather is not beautiful and flying conditions are very restricted, then the hospital has to be able to meet every need. And that's from a heart attack to a bleed in the brain, to pediatric issues, to obstetrical issues. I mean, these are, or trauma. We have to be able to do everything. Really got some interesting associations up in Boston. For example, with Mass General, with our telestroke program, where we can interact with a neurologist and make decisions about treating patients with ischemic strokes.
And this was Frank Rooney's hospital, when a day that began with the feeling that something just wasn't quite right ended with a flight to Boston and a pacemaker.
Last August, I felt a little different. So I said to myself, I'm going over to the emergency room and have my blood pressure taken. And I came in and met the doctor.
When we saw how extreme your heart problem was, we knew we just had to stabilize you and get you right up to Boston. Yeah.
You stabilized me. I don't know what you did, but you stabilized me.
Yeah, we were able to give you some medications and give you some oxygen, which your heart needed at that time. And but I remember you were cool as a cucumber. What I've seen working here over time is we are constantly ready to be intervening in someone's life in a way that they cannot anticipate. So they're here on vacation, or they're in their year-round life and they're going to the Stop and Shop and they're taking their kids to school and they're doing what we all do that becomes the routine of life, and suddenly that changes on a dime. And we have the ability to help people manage that moment.
Thank you for saving my life.
It's a passion for me that we have to turn this little hospital around for its community.
We're all part of the community. I mean, some of us, like Diane Pearl, are natives. The rest of us are Washashores, but we're all united in one goal, and that one goal is to take care of the community on Nantucket.
Nantucket Cottage Hospital first opened its doors in 1911. There have been some pretty dramatic changes in medicine over that century. And I don't have to tell you that these days the national healthcare landscape is constantly in flux. Even so, this hospital is dedicated to being there for the next 100 years to provide the quality healthcare this island has come to expect. It is a goal we all must share. After all, this is your hospital.
Nantucket Cottage Hospital may help you